and welcome back to Danger Aware Animation Department. And today I am not going to continue with what I was working on yesterday because I have a deadline. And so I'm working on a different project, and I simply wanted to show everybody quickly what I'm working on. I'm not going to make this a long video, but basically what I'm doing is creating a map for Danger Aware to use for our upcoming project called Bicycling Across America. So if you visit our website or if you go to YouTube, you can see what I've already done one time with the United States map. But now I'm working on doing a better job at it. So I had done a map and done a quick little video, it's about 2 minutes long, explaining very quickly that we're doing this bicycling across America and that Chef Craig Howell will be doing the bicycling. He's going to start in Fresno, California and work his way across the United States to Washington, D.C., where he will hopefully meet with many senators and representatives and explain to them what we're doing and try to get funding for us. So, all of this needs to be out there so that people can help us. And Chef Craig, he's been a chef for 35 years, and he's planning on stopping and cooking for anyone who wants him to if you're within his route. So in order for us to do that, we need to show what his route is going to be. And so I've been creating the map. Like I said, I've done it already once, but now I'm trying to do it with a lot more detail, because that way we can zoom in and show actual cities. Now, I'm not showing you the map because it's not my map that I'm copying. I've used a couple of different maps, but right now I'm using, I think what I'm using is capturing from Bing. So what I've done is I went to Bing, I went show me a map of the United States, and then I went in and captured. If you know how, you can use the print screen button on your computer will capture an image. If you just press the print screen button, you get a capture of everything on your computer. So like if I did it right now, I just did, and then I went to the Paint program, which is on every version of Microsoft Windows, and I paste exactly what I captured, you'll see that it's exactly what we were just looking at. We're looking at Moho. The thing is, you can print screen and then you can save what you copied off the screen. So I've done that with mapping, and then I paste it and I do this, I move it up and I get to exactly what I want, and then I shrink the image size of the entire project that I'm working on, and then I end up with a small section. But I'm doing this right now with my entire United States map, but I'm explaining that when I do this to capture the maps, I'm zooming in very close. So I'm getting the streets and, or at least the main roads that go across the US, because in order to show you where Chef Craig is going to be, I've got to be able to put those on the map, and they need to be in the right places. And so I'm animating all of this to create our animation. So let me just open the first one here. I think this is the one I'm wanting. Yeah, so here it is. Here was my first version of what I'm working on now. Again, this was captured from a wall map image. So I went search for wall maps, found a wall map, I brought it in. I can't show it to you because I don't own it, and Danger Aware doesn't own it. And we can only use other people's material for free if we're using it for educational purposes within our mission. Our mission is to reduce abuse, not to teach animation. So, my teaching you animation is simply me showing you what I'm learning as I'm learning, pretty much. Whereas Danger Aware is about anti-abuse. We're going to use the animation to make cartoons, and that's where that all comes in. But not all the animation we do is a cartoon per se. So here's what I came up with for just to get started on what we're doing for Chef Craig. So we got Danger Aware, of course, pops up there, and then we got Chef Craig, and then what are we doing? Bicycling across America, breaking the silence. What silence? The silence about abuse. So we're going to start in Fresno, California on June 7th, and from there, Chef Craig is going to be bicycling across America. His route is going to first take him to Yosemite, and then from there, I didn't know. I hadn't gotten his itinerary that I could tell everybody, here's exactly where he's going to be going. So I created this animation to say, okay, he's going to be heading across America. If we can get to you and he can cook for you, let us know and we'll come and cook. But since I created this animation, I have finally gotten his itinerary or parts of it, and so I know where he's going to be going on his trip now, at least for parts of it. I've got the end of it for sure when he's going to get to Washington, D.C. He's going to be on a bicycle program that's out there already for bicyclists. He's going to join in on that during this trip. It's going to be in August, I believe. And so he's going to leave Fresno in June, and he's going to arrive in Washington, D.C. in September, I believe. And so, like I said, I'm just now working this all out to put his route on our website and on YouTube and anywhere else so people can find out what we're doing and where we're going to be. And then Chef Craig is going to stop and talk and cook. So anywhere he goes, if anyone at that city where he's going to be wants him to stop and cook, he will stop and cook for you. And that's what I'm working on. So I wanted to do a better job on the maps because now that I know where he's going, I need to be able to zoom in. And as you can see, this is pretty much at the limit of these images that I created. So that's why I'm redoing it with higher detail and with finer details so that when we go to zoom in on a city, we're going to be able to really get in there and show where he's going to be. So if he's going to be cooking at, say, a Dollar General store, that's kind of like the most common store across America. So if we say, okay, he's going to go to the Dollar General store and we've gotten approval for him to cook a barbecue in the parking lot, and you go, oh, that would fit perfect with our project. Let's call Chef Craig, or let's get a hold of Danger Aware, see if we can get Chef Craig to come by and cook for us. And that's what we're doing. And then while he's cooking, he'll talk to you about Danger Aware. And we're working on a new game that's almost ready to come out. I have done some work on it. I've got a few of the games printed up. They're 3D printed. And it's called Respect My Personal Space. And I've got 7 of them created right now, almost ready to go. And he will be giving these away on his trip. So if you would like to get a copy of the new game, Respect My Personal Space, then get a hold of Chef Craig. In fact, let me see here. And here's the video I was talking about that I did that just introduces everybody to that, bicycling across America. And then, let's see, where did I, yeah, here we go. Respect My Personal Space, the game. this is out there. I've shared this video with some 3D printing influencers asking for their advice and how to improve the 3D printability of the game pieces. I had the game professionally printed 3D for me. Then I made some alterations to it. And so now we're ready to almost put it out there for everybody to be able to either 3D print it for yourself, or we're trying to find some gaming company that will actually help us produce it. So what you see here are close-up of the one that I had 3D printed. But I had to paint the parts there, not all of them, but the base of the game is painted by hand, whereas the new 3D version is no longer needing to do that. You just print it in different parts, and it snaps together.
And these astronauts were printed on a color 3D printer, so they've got some really nice detail. But if you don't have a color 3D printer, you can print them on a standard 3D printer and it still works.
What matters with the game is how they're shaped and tilted like that to cause an off balance. So here's some of the parts of the game, and I'll be working on a new video to explain the game and how to play it and put it together in the whole bit. Keep your eyes open for the Respect My Personal Space game. Coming soon to DangerAware and to 3D printing, so you'll be able to 3D print it up yourself. Alright? Chef Craig will be giving those away on his trip across America. So check it out. What I'm doing here is creating my map. What I do, that's what I wanted to get to about all of this. I've created a copy of Indiana here, and I did it by first doing Kentucky. Let's say we're now going to do the next state over here. We would simply copy Kentucky because we know it shares this border. So if I could bring my map up and show you, we would see the shape of the state and we would put the name of the state here. But I don't want to redraw all this detailed edge that I've already created. So I duplicated the state. Now I'm going to change its color just so I know I'm working on something different. So I'm going to just go over here and change the color. And I'm not being particular about what color goes where. So now what I want to do is get rid of everything that I don't need for the state that's here. So I'm going to start here and I'm just going to grab all these points and delete them. And same down here. And so now I'm ready to go in and start tracing the rest. Whoops. I meant to put it down here. A to add. So we're now ready to start tracing out the rest of the state. So I'm pretty sure that follows that right along there. So we're just going to come down here, hit T, and delete this point that's part of the other state. So now we've got that border, and I would just bring up my background image behind this and trace it. That's all I've been doing to create each of these states. I'm just tracing. And be careful because every map's different. You know, you can go, oh, I can bring this map up and then I'll bring a different map up to do this part. That doesn't work out very well because depending on the point of view they wanted you to have, the maps are going to be different. A road map is almost always flat, whereas the map I did for the first video, it's curved because it's showing basically the lines of longitude that the United States used to say, okay, let's put this where we're going to cut these states apart. You know, they're using lines of longitude to make those initial locations of where the state starts and ends. And so, as you can see, this map is way different than the map I'm working on now. You can see the curves here. This one is more of a road map, so everything is flat. And that will allow me to zoom in and bring in a road map of a city. So where I've got a spot here, I'll be able to zoom in, and at this point, we would then say, okay, switch to another project, but it's a close-up of just the city. And that way we can show exactly where Chef Craig will be expected to be. And if you'd like to stop by and enjoy some of the food he's cooking and hear him talk about what Dangerware is doing, and maybe get a chance to win one of the original 3D printed Respect My Personal Space games, then please come join us. We're going to be doing everything across America. We're bicycling across America. If you're a bicyclist, you're welcome to join us for any portion of that trip. And so that's why I need to get this map done and get the route put in so that I can put it online so everyone will know exactly where we're headed. And that way you can go, oh, I want to go meet Chef Craig. I want to go see how good of a chef really is he. Is that 35 years worth? Yes, from what I've been told. I haven't met him personally. I've met him over video conference, and we talk a lot, but I haven't actually been in his presence. I haven't eaten his food, but everybody at the Fresno Dangerware offices has, and they all claim that he is an amazing chef. If you want to see if Dangerware can live up to the hype, come check out our Bicycling Across America program. Again, it'll be starting on June 7th, a little over a month from now. In the next 2-3 days, I should have this map and his route completely marked out, where we'll be able to actually zoom in, show the cities, and show exactly where he'll be. And you can join up with him, bicycle along with him for a couple of miles, or half a state, or 2 or 3 states. It's up to you. He's welcoming anyone to join him on his trip, and for any portion of it. Keep that all in mind. And that's pretty much all I came on today to do. Was I've got to go finish this map. I can't finish it online because I don't own the background image that I'm copying from, but I am making it uniquely ours because I'm not being exact and I'm not using their colors. Well, their color is all one color, it's just a road map. But the point is, here's how you can use animation for other things, not just to make a cartoon. It's used in business all over the place. And so you want to make a state stand out, we can do that. We can come over here to California and say, okay, we're going to be starting in California. Let's take California, and for the beginning of our animation here, so we'll start here and California's there. Let's put our orientation to the city of Fresno, because that's where they're beginning the bicycling from. That's where Chef Craig will start from. There's our center point. So now we can take the state and we're going to go, okay, here's its normal size. And then we're going to go to 4 seconds in, and we want it to expand to show people its importance. That's where we're beginning. As you can see, my colors are transparent, and that's because I want to be able to see the map I'm copying. But once we're done, I'll simply go in here and remove the transparency from the colors, and then we get the whole thing. And if we wanted California to be on top of everything, we would simply move it up the layers here to the top layer. So as top layer, so now at 96, it's top layer, but we didn't do that right, because we wanted to do that right, we would have all of these in a group together, and then we would use that group to do layer sorting. So we've got all these states, and we're going to want to bring each one of them up to be on top. So let's select all the states here, and we're going to make a group, and we're going to call it the states. Oh, we can't do it in the animation frame though. We've got to go to the construction frame. Now we can create a group. So we're going to create a group with selection, and now we can call that states. So now that allows me to use these states as a group, and so I can go into the controls and go to depth sort, and we can enable animated layer order. And what that means is during animation now, I can change the order of those states. So we're going to start off at 1, and we're going to make California really big. All right, but then let's drop it back to normal. So we'll go back here to 7, and we got to be on California. So now we can reset. California's reset back to normal, and say now we want to do Nevada. Okay, we want Nevada to be big. We're going to go into the state of Nevada here, and we can now bring it to the top within our animation. It can now cover California, and then we start making it large. But before we make it large, put the origin in the center of that particular object or drawing. So here we are, it's normal size, and then we're going to jump ahead a couple of seconds or so and make it huge, and then go back to normal. So that's the end of my time frame, but we'll just do that and hit reset. If we go back to the beginning though, we can see now California's on top and Nevada's back down where it belonged. And if we move to the first frame, California's on top and Nevada's where it belongs. So we hit play, California's on top, shrinks back down, and then Nevada comes up on top. So you can see how we're animating, but we're not making a cartoon. We're doing a informational animation. Okay? That's where the layer sort really comes in handy. But you can only use it in one way. You can either use it while you're animating on the timeline, or you can use it within an action. So if I wanted to create an action for the states, say I wanted to shuffle them all around, I could do that. But moving them up and down here would prevent me from moving them up and down also on the timeline. They're exclusive to each other. And to see your actual moving around of your objects in the layers, just go to your main group name, and then this bar here, this is your layer ordering, and this shows you when you make a change. So you can see here, this is when we changed the order of Nevada to be on top of California. And I can demonstrate that by moving this. So we can see here, going along, and boom, there's Nevada. You're not going to see it in the frame on the layers over here unless you let go. So if I go here and let go, you can see that the layers reorder as soon as I let go. They're actually reordering during the animation, but it doesn't update the layers because of memory concerns until you actually let go of sliding along your timeline. All right, so I'm moving here. This is where Nevada is down where it belongs. Here at 168, we move it into place. So now if we pick up this little box and we move it over here to 120, well, now Nevada begins on top at that point. You can see it now jumps on top at this point. So you can change things based on where these boxes are on the timeline, just like that. So there you go. And again, if you want to copy and you're doing things that are butted up against each other like these states are, do one state, then duplicate it, and then cut away what isn't the new state and finish it off. That saves you all that work of trying to make it look exactly the same. Every one of my states where they come together, they have the same borders because I copied it from the other map. This portion of this border here is identical to that portion for Illinois or Indiana. So if I was to copy and paste, it would be the exact same layout right here. So this lower border here is the same as this lower border. There's no difference because I used this one to create that one. So my cell phone's ringing, sorry about that. So I'm going to get back to work and putting this map together, making my copy from all of that that I've captured from using print screen, and then I paste it into Paint. I then rearrange the size to get exactly what I'm wanting. Then I save that, so we'll go Save As, and then you can see all these maps that I've saved before, so we'll just go Test here. And then we go into Moho, and we say, okay, we're going to do a new state. So we're going to import the image that I just captured, which is Test. So I got online maps, and then there's my test here, right there. So now I've imported my new map, right? So I would move it into position, I would adjust it to the right size and shape for where it belonged, and I would go in and change the opacity to 50% so that I can see through it, so that when I'm drawing, I can put this on top, then go down and say, okay, we're going to create a new state here. So we're going to go and, I'll need to be in the construction layer. So let's go to the construction layer, and we're going to create a new state. So new vector, and we're going to call it state, because it's not. Then we're going to bring our image that we need to duplicate into position. So say this was a state and it belongs right here. Okay? So we now need to make this state happen right here. So we go into state now and bring up the pencil tool and choose a style. And so I created a number of different styles for different states. And we would just start drawing that line that we want to trace as close as we want to be. Now I'm being really sloppy, but now I've got my line there. You can't see it very well because of the colors, but let's change that so you can see it. So we'll just make it more solid and darker. Now you can see I've just drawn the border of the new state. Okay, not really, but you know, that's how I'm doing this job, to create each of these. Changing my colors back, because I still want to work. That's how you can use other people's work, make copies, and use them for yourself. The legal parameters, as I understand them, are if you make an image 10% different than the image you copied it from, it's now your image. But it has to be very visible 10%. If they took you to court, it would come down to the judge determining whether that's 10% or not. So be careful if you're copying other people's work. I try to not to, but with maps, I'm not a map person, so I have to do it this way. And that's why I'm not showing you the map I'm copying. I'm only showing you my altered copy. Check back in a couple of days and look at our website or look at YouTube, and you should see a new Bicycle Across the America advertisement with this new map completed and our route marked out, so you can determine, will Chef Craig be in my neighborhood, and would I like to go check out what kind of cooking that guy does, and maybe I can win a copy of that game, Respect My Personal Space, before it becomes so popular everyone's got one. Maybe I can get one of the first ones printed by Dangerware. So there you go. You guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Please visit dangerware.org. Scroll down the page to PayPal and click on that. We need your help. We need funding to make these games, to make these cartoons, to make our contests for kids, to help them learn about personal rights, how to call out the early stages of abuse and prevent later stages of abuse. The best prevention for abuse is to call it out. And so we're trying to teach kids how to do that safely, confidently, and effectively. So thank you again. Have a wonderful day. Thanks you for joining us for Dangerware Animation Department. Not always doing cartoons.
Alright, this is a couple of days later. The project is now nearly completed. So I wanted to get this video out even though the project's not completed. But here you can see all the states have been put in, and I've got the path that Chef Craig will be following. And I can reduce the size of the pixels so that it will let us get close in and see cities without being completely obscured by the thickness of the line. But when we're zoomed out like this, we want to see the whole trail, so we can change the thickness back and make it more visible. But you can see that this does show his route where he'll be, except in a couple of places. I don't have the full details yet, but up here in Iowa you can see that that is extremely detailed, and that's because this is part of what they call the Ragbri bicycling event in Iowa. It happens every year. And so Chef Craig, as a bicyclist, he's a bicycle enthusiast. He does this all the time. So he will be joining the Ragbri event as part of his cycling across America. So if you'd like to meet up with him there, I know a lot of cyclists will be there. But you can also cycle with him starting from Fresno, California, or if he's coming through your area and you'd just like to join him for a few miles, please feel free to give us a contact and let him call you or email you and make arrangements of letting you know exactly where you can join up with him at. Alright, so that's pretty much it. You have a great day. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe. Please share this with others. And if you would like to help Dangerware with animation, drop us a line at info@dangeraware.org and we'll get you going with us. Thanks. Have a great day.
Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that lives next door. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that you adore. Watch for the things that cause alarm, watch for the one that would do you harm. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that lives next door. Danger, 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 danger. Danger, danger, could be a stranger.